and 106.1 𝗧CCLP Conroe, and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
It's Wednesday. Actually, I think it's afternoon, so that makes it hump day, hump hour of hump day. This is Melanie of Host of the Town with 𝗧cie and 𝗃, and we are here with bells on and an exciting show and an exciting guest. And what do you got, Christy?
Oh, well, hi, Mel.
Hey.
How are you?
I am fabulous.
If you didn't guess, we haven't had our champagne toast yet this morning, so Mel's a little uptight.
No.
We're going to get her relaxed here in any minute now. I promise you. But no, it is a great day here in the studios here in downtown Conroe. It's nice to see you. It feels like it's been ages.
I know. It has been ages. It really has been.
I know.
And the weather's nice. I hear we're getting... No, wait. I hear we're getting a cool front.
Yeah. It's going to be in the 90s.
I think it's going to be all the way down. They said it's supposed to skip below 95. I don't know.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
You know, but I'm waiting any minute now for that Saharan dust to start settling down and the tropics to start whipping into action.
Is the Saharan? That's the cough.
That's what
I can't get this.
I can't. I've been like yesterday. I couldn't breathe. It was so hot. I think there was dust in the air. But you know, if that's keeping us from getting any major storms, I guess that we should be appreciative of that. But you know. Anyway, I digress. But it is a warm, toasty day here.
It is.
In downtown Conroe, nonetheless. And there's been so much going on. School is back in session. I've got 2 seniors officially now, starting college applications, and
that's exciting.
And yeah, nervous breakdown over here, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Everything's great. Little bit of action going on in the city of Conroe. Some interesting stuff going on.
Hey,
and
I want to tell you something. It's really good when the whole town shows up at City Hall for a meeting.
That's true. True.
For whatever you like or didn't like about the meeting, it's really cool when people show up.
And then you've got, you know, the big news this morning, of course, Liz Cheney getting beat by 37 points in
I'm
Wyoming.
I'm non-political.
And it's been an active things happening.
It has.
Things happening.
Quick.
Yes, and then we've got everything, of course, heating up for the November election and school board races all over town. So we're going to have lots of interesting things to talk about over the course of the next few months.
Yes, we are.
Yes. But the cool thing is, before that, we have some entertainment stuff going on, one of which I know you're excited about, and that is tomorrow night. The Rickies are going to be at Pacific Yard House at 8:30.
Oh,
yes.
Color me there.
I figured.
I've missed them. I haven't seen them in 3 or 4
and that's
years.
like your deal. Then they're also doing dueling pianos at 202 Main. So if you haven't been to downtown Conroe lately, you need to make the
Great
trip.
Entertainment.
Moco Food Hall is now open, including the Vault little speakeasy. It's a great little place for some great little cocktails. But all kinds of stuff going on. Jamie Richards is going to be playing at the table at Madeley on Friday night. Saturday, we have Robert Earl Keen at the Pavilion, a little Aggie alumni action. It's his farewell tour. We also have the Woodlands Chamber Chairman's Ball coming up Saturday night. And then one of my favorite events of all summer is coming up this weekend down in Galveston, and that is the Sandcastle competition. Yes. So if you've never been and you don't have anything to do and you want to like go get some sun this weekend, go down there. Like it's pretty amazing. The sand sculptures they do are just unbelievable.
Well, I'm there. There's a couple other things we got going on over in, you know, we have...
Because we're never boring.
No, we aren't. And we have this new following over in the Jefferson County, Orange County, all that area because of our political activities. But we got a whole new group of people that are listening to us. But anyway, we got a couple of political events going on. Roxanne, who is running for county clerk over there, Roxanne Helber, she has a breakfast on September the 9th, coffee talk with Roxanne, and then she has a Vanessa Broussard has a Boutique. Thank you. 𝗧𝗏𝗏's. Anyway, and she's giving an event for Roxanne. And then Carrie has one on October the 9th.
Yes.
It's a Dallas Cowboys game and all kinds of good stuff.
Yep.
Be really, really fun. Anyway, they'll be on our Facebook page if anybody over there is interested.
And we've got another event that'll be coming up in October that we'll talk about in a little bit. And then we just roll right into the Conroe Cajun Catfish Festival. And, you know, it's going to be a great week.
Right.
It's going to be a great week.
Well, I saved that event for a little later.
Well, yeah. I did too. Yeah. Anyway, so why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest?
Well, our guest today is no stranger to anybody in this area.
No.
Well, he's no stranger to anybody in Texas.
And definitely
really.
no stranger to this show, for sure.
Absolutely. County Judge Mark Keough, it is wonderful to have you with us today.
It is great to be back. You guys are amazing. Just watching you two. You got so many activities going on. Oh my goodness! How do you get it all done?
We're busy.
We don't
We're just
know.
busy people. We're busy people.
We just don't sleep.
Amen.
I'm familiar with that concept.
Just don't sleep. You know, I mean, I figure God must be keeping me awake for a reason, so I might as well just work.
The Cajun Catfish Festival.
Cajun Catfish Festival. I know, you know, and because of you, we were able to have it in 2020, the only event to happen anywhere in this area, and that is because of your amazing policy and wanting to open us up.
Thank you. The governor gave us kind of an out in that deal, and he said anybody who wants to gather in a group over 12 needs to get permission from the county judge.
It worked out beautifully.
So I came out with a document, a decree from my office. I showed it to everybody on Facebook. Anybody who wants to meet with over 12 people, you have permission. Boom.
Yep.
Here's your document.
And that's the reason everybody in the state knows him.
That's right. And that's why we're still rolling with the Catfish Festival and still able to give money back to the community.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just an example of the work that you've been doing while in office. And
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Very exciting. Give all the credit to the Lord.
Yeah, well,
He's blessed us. He blessed
absolutely
Montgomery
has.
County, and even a blind squirrel finds an acorn every once in a while.
So what's going on with the county? Y'all got all kinds of fun stuff.
The county
happening.
is rocking.
Yes.
We continue to grow at unprecedented rate. To be sure, as I've talked to some developers with a little increase in interest rate, they're seeing a little slowing down. But I have to tell you, not much.
Yeah.
When you have houses that 84% of them or 54% of them are selling within 30 days, and 84% of those that are selling for over MSRP, for over asking price.
Yes.
That's pretty remarkable.
Pretty remarkable. And you know, and I've looked at the permit list that the county puts out, and it's just they're busy over there.
It's phenomenal.
Still signing permits.
That's right. It's incredible. And you know that with that comes some challenges. You know, you got a lot of people coming in. You have to have a lot of infrastructure. You know, with all the activity that's taking place south of us and a crime wave that's going on. Of course, more law enforcement and those kinds of things, but
Yes.
we're committed to continued growth. You can't have a healthy community without a healthy economy,
That's exactly right.
period. And so we developed that mantra during COVID, and sure enough, we were able to launch ahead of most other counties and to start out. As we went into that time and then on to where we are today, and it just continues to go on and on and on.
Well,
So,
and I think, you know, even the development that's going on here, you know, in downtown Conroe, but all over Montgomery County is a real testament to the fact that while we slowed down because of COVID,
Sure.
we didn't come to a screeching halt because you were committed to keeping us open.
well, we refuse to contract. You know, when things get tough, generally, people in business, everybody wants to contract back like this. Well, we didn't contract. Anybody that wanted to stay open, we just decided they can do this.
Yes.
And of course we had, and God love them, you know, we had to fight and argue with a number of people in order to do that sort of thing, but it worked out great. And I'm just so thankful. Such an opportunity to lead such a great county. And you have good people in this county, virtuous people, hardworking people, family people, about home, family, hard work, personal responsibility, all the stuff you hear me talk about all the time.
And driven. Yes.
It's exciting to watch.
Yes.
I know there's a little bit of conflict going on here in the town hall in Conroe and whatnot. That's all part of the process, though.
Absolutely.
And iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
And so it's exciting to see what's taking place.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you're sitting around with everybody agreeing with you, nobody gets any better. So, you know.
Well, that's true. That's true. Sometimes it's a little rocky.
Sometimes it's a little rocky
but,
getting there.
You know,
Yeah, it can be a
does
little
work.
bit rocky at times, but the other side of that is this is what constitutes a republic.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So y'all been, we've seen with all this growth in Montgomery County, you were saying, the
Yeah.
demands on infrastructure and
Sure.
everything going on. What challenges do you see for the county here in the next 12 months or so that you are going to be addressing immediately?
Well, it continues to be the big issue is transportation, huge transportation issue, and we all know about that. We're working with
of course.
TxDOT, we're working with everybody we can to get whatever we need to do.
And that
You got-
that great bridge project that we have,
and then
that
you got-
45, that City Center River Bridge.
Well, and then 105 has got an issue out there. They
Yeah.
lost that contractor, and now that place is shut down all the time. It's amazing, but TxDOT will get that figured out.
Absolutely.
So obviously, those kinds of things. My number one concern for our county is what is taking place south of us, south of Montgomery County, in Harris County. There is a crime wave that is going on down there that you can't turn on the TV in the morning without hearing about another person,
Yes.
few people, kids, whatever, being shot, people being robbed, catalytic converters being stolen, all of this various stuff. And my number one objective during this time is to ensure that we're able to keep the lifestyle of what we have by people knowing that we are sincerely dedicated to our law enforcement. Maybe you saw my sign. I can put a sign out, from the heart. Criminals, this is Montgomery County. We fund law enforcement, we prosecute. That sign's on I-45 just as you come into Montgomery County,
Dick, do you have a
which
picture
is the
of that
main
sign?
corridor of that as we get into that. And I have to tell you, as we have dealt with people here and with criminals that come up from south of what we call the border, Spring Creek, the south of the border, Spring Creek, they come up here and they find out they're in Montgomery County. And they go, because we have a judicial system where our judges are on their game. We have the DA's office on their game. And nothing happens until we have guys in the street, men in blue, the sheriff's office, the constable.
The front lines.
And the front lines, that's right. And the DPS, they're out there and they're taking action on this stuff. But if they take action and you don't have the cooperation of the DA's office,
Right.
and you can't get quick response to the activities that are taking place, we do not have a culture of deterrence. And we must maintain a culture of deterrence so that a criminal, if he chooses to come into Montgomery County, he is going to have to make a decision of the benefits against the liabilities for him personally.
Right.
Right.
And which simply means is, hey, is it worth going up there and getting stuck in jail? Because we will prosecute and we will incarcerate you and we will take the actions that we need to take.
Well, and you hear all these stories about, the new judicial wave whenever in the 2020 election in Harris County, and how they are not exactly holding anybody to high bail amounts, and people are getting out and walking so soon, and then they're getting back out on the streets and creating more crimes.
Here's the deal. When you talk about the judicial system in general, there are ideologies that drive judges.
Sure.
Okay, and the fact of the matter is that in Harris County, I believe it was in 2019, which was my race that I came into 18. They turned over 64 judges to progressive activist judges
Yes.
away from conservative Republican
Yes.
judges.
Yes.
It's that simple.
Yep.
And so of recent, as they looked at it through 21, the amount of misdemeanors that have been dismissed, in other words, they bring them in, they dismiss them over 80%. If you go back to 2011, it was like 26%. It's a totally different animal. And as I talk to constables and other those in law enforcement down there, there's a tremendous frustration. They go to all the work, they bring them in, they let them go. And then we
Yeah.
let people out on the street. But there are good judges down there too.
Of course.
And their law enforcement are good people, and they're guys. But you've got to have the cooperation of all of the departments. You
Well,
have
it
to
all
have-
works
Correct.
together.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
yes.
And we have that here in Montgomery County.
Yes, we do.
Our judges, the ones that recently got elected, I had a chance to swear one in the other day.
Saw
and
that.
what happens with our justices of the peace, our people are on their game, and they're fair, and they're just. If somebody steals something in other countries, we can stop them from stealing. What they do is they just chop off their hand.
Well, yeah,
That's too harsh. Now they create them as a ward of the state, and now they can't provide themselves, so what do? They steal more with the right hand
Right,
or the
right.
left hand or whatever. We have judges that are balanced in their approach, and they're balanced in who is given certain bonds and certain charges for bonds, and they take that into consideration because I can tell you, as I've dealt with these people, they're about justice. And the justice happens for the state, for the county, happens for the victim as they're taken care of through the movement of what they do with incarcerating and taking people into custody and probable cause and putting them in jail. So we will do it.
Well, I love the innovative approach, too, that you took about, hey, let's let these guys know. We're going to put up a billboard, and we're going to let all of these guys that want to come into our community
Let me tell you what happened.
and stir these things up, we're going to let them know they're here.
We had 2 incidents, and the one of the most recent one, well, there was 2 of them, but that kind of spawned this idea. And it wasn't my idea. It came from a lady who saw one of the posts that I made on Facebook that we were going to punish to the full extent of the law. And she says, man, you need to put that up on a billboard. And I thought, how can we put that up there in a short, concise fashion so people will actually see it and read it? And so we thought about that. What happened though was we had a couple of guys driving in a car. They had come up from Harris County, and my deputy constable and my director of Homeland Security were in the vehicle. They saw these guys swerving, so they stopped them. Come to find out, they had 2 open warrants. The one guy says to the other guy, after they get in the back and they're taking him up to the jail, the one guy says to the other guy, don't worry, we'll be out of here in 2 hours. My deputy constable turns around and says, you need to understand something. This is Montgomery County. You're going to jail. And those guys started cussing and arguing, and they were scared to death. Then what happened, almost this exact same time, a week later, they had stopped a guy who had stolen a car. The constables in Precinct 3 here caught him. First question the guy asked, am I in Harris County? No, you're in Montgomery County. The guy started crying. This is no joke. This from the testimony. I couldn't believe it. He was in a panic because he knew what was going to happen. Because as soon as they cross the border, they have a different view of justice and what needs to take place. And that kind of nonsense, we have to have a system where the people believe that we're doing everything we can to not just solve it when it happens, but to deter it from happening to begin with.
Right.
That's what our picture on the billboard does for us. So it was pretty interesting. To be sure, I'm not in the judicial aspect of this. I could be,
Right.
if I chose to magistrate or whatever. But as county judge, I am what Texas calls a constitutional administrative judge. And as a result of that, my oversight is over the Commissioner's Court. I'm Chief Presiding Officer over Commissioner's Court. Homeland Security, Emergency Management is under me, which involves all this stuff. And then also the hospital district, I'm on the board of that, and juvenile detention. And so I'm involved in all of that stuff. Am I the one who actually does the judging? No. But if I chose to get into the magistrate end of this, I could.
Yeah.
But that's not in the
But
cards
the
for
thing
me.
is what you're doing is you're rounding up the best that we have here in Montgomery County.
Let me tell
to
you.
be the extension of that.
Listen, please, I'm not exaggerating. Whether it's our DA's office, whether it's the sheriff's office, whether it's the constables, to a man in the constables, these guys are outstanding, and they are committed to that there, and they know that we will fund them. Do you know that we just funded 96 officers out of our new county budget? 96 of them, the Montgomery County took on the expense of those. It's amazing because we want our officers in the sheriff's office to not just operate in one locality in the county, but to be able, if they're called over here in Shenandoah, if they're called over here in Magnolia, they can leave where they're at and they can go there and help as needed.
Well,
So that-
especially with some of these entities where we've seen them have to adjust their budgets for one reason or another and not be able to fund these departments as much as they should.
We have watched our pennies, and we have watched what we've been doing. You know, we've just recently, in the passing of our budget, is the largest tax decrease in terms of rate in the history of the county.
Wow.
Following 3 years of the no new revenue rate, which has never happened in the history of the county, not once. So we're watching our money. We're spending it wisely. We have a great commissioner's court. These guys understand a financial statement. Okay?
That's interesting.
They do. And they understand the needs of the community. They're in touch with the community, and the commissioner's court, I couldn't be more proud of them. We're working together. I'm very excited about continuing to work with them.
Well, and I think it's such a great testament to being able to, like we were saying, evolve with who
Right.
you're working with and make it work.
Oh, yeah.
Make it work.
Yeah, it's been cool.
Yeah. So what else has been going on?
No, man, all the road stuff, I got to tell you, that's a hoot. Now, we are coming up on an election.
Uh-huh.
And the fact of the matter is that most of us don't have anybody running against us this round. And in terms of Democrats against us, being as strong a Republican as we are, we had an outstanding primary and just took the trophy home. It was very exciting what we were able to do, and we completed all that. And things just keep going on. We're right now, because of the shooter situation that has taken place in Uvalde. My Director of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, Jason Millsaps, who is in conjunction with our sheriff's office and all the rest of the guys in emergency management and the constables and the fire marshal and the fire chiefs and the ESDs. They're doing training on shooter situations, full-blown shooter situations, where they will literally come and get me, and I don't know when it's coming. This is a situation. I'll walk into a situation, they'll give me a briefing, and then I'm in front of the TV. I mean, it's pretty remarkable, the practice that they're doing. They've gone to the schools and continue to go to the schools. Our guys and our deputies and the school police are ensuring that we have the proper security that we need at all of our schools. It's pretty amazing, really, what's taking place. And we're training them on how to go about doing this and offering stuff for citizens and the rest so that we don't get into a situation like Uvalde. It was unconscionable that would happen. And I just, first of all, your heart breaks for those people, and you just pray that we would, in the moment, do what we've been trained to do and not hesitate.
Yeah, I mean, and
oh my goodness,
and I think that's such a testament to our law enforcement agencies here in Montgomery County.
That's right.
Not only the way that they communicate and work together, but the importance of safety and security in Montgomery County in all aspects. It kind of like whenever we had the Trump rally here in the county, and and watching all of the law enforcement agencies work together to make sure not only that the attendees were safe, but the speakers were safe, and everything was conducted in such a wonderfully mechanical, organized way. That's one of the things that I've read, no matter what political affiliation so much, had the impression that it left on people for how well it was organized. And
Absolutely.
I think that just goes to how well our law enforcement agencies communicate and work together to make things like that happen.
All of them, laser focus. I'm telling you, they're awesome. It's an honor to work with them and to be able to be a part of this machine of Montgomery County. Isn't it cool?
It is cool.
It is.
Yeah.
It is cool.
So
how long has when did the billboard go up?
The billboard went up at the beginning mid-May, and it'll be probably up another month.
I wonder how many guys have just exited, zipped around, said nope.
Who knows? But I get calls
Headed
from
back
people. I get calls from people. I got a call from a guy that has a boat shop up in Conroe, and he told me, or up in Willis, and he said, "Man, I just saw your sign, man. That's awesome." And but it's part of it is, the criminals are going to do what criminals do.
Right.
But as a citizen, I thought it was so important for them and our people to be able to see in writing, in bold, that we're not going to tolerate bad guys. We love our people, and we want them, and we welcome anybody to come here. We just want them to operate within the confines of the laws and the ordinances and operate by the rule of law. And if you don't, though, we attempt to deter it. That sign is a sign of deterrence.
Well,
how much it is done, I don't know, but I can tell you the people are very much encouraged by it, and that's part of it as well. We want them to believe that we're serious about this.
Well, and I think it goes to, speak for the reason why Montgomery County is growing at the rate that it is, because it is such a great place to live, and part of it is because of situations like this. Yes.
I was at a meeting with a group of developers, without mentioning the organization, but it was probably a couple hundred people, political officials, people from political subdivisions, and it was with a group of developers, major developers in Montgomery County and Harrison County. They're across the whole board. And the question was, why Montgomery County? The second question was, public record, why not Harris County? And the number one thing that came out and I was so excited to hear this, to a person, the number one thing that they said, why Montgomery County? Stable government. Government that they can count on, that's not going to flip on them, that has small business in mind. Can't have a healthy community without a healthy economy.
Absolutely.
And that will stand with them and work to continue to develop this county. If we don't do that and have a stable government to do that, all of a sudden it becomes confusing to investors
Right.
and people who are coming into our economy, whether it's developers and even to individuals, come from all over the place. We have people coming from all over Texas,
Right.
south of us, to the east of us, to the west of us, but from all over the country coming specifically to Montgomery County. I had a young couple, their mother-in-law and mother-in-law and father-in-law, mother-in-law and father-in-law on both sides moved right next door to me in my home here in Montgomery County. And I'm thinking, well, they came here because of a job. Why did you come here? Because we researched and we wanted to be in the most conservative place that we could be in. And we found Montgomery County, and that's why we are here.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
is
remarkable.
amazing.
It is remarkable.
So,
Well,
that's cool stuff.
Yeah.
so Christy, do you want to take a break real quick? And we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Sure.
All right.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, all right, y'all be with us. We're going to take just a little break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Thank you.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
An estimated 1 in 10 births will result in a neonatal intensive care stay, also known as the NICU. Overnight, a family can find themselves and their newborn baby in a critical situation. The 𝗵𝗆 Foundation financially and spiritually assists families in need. If you would like to volunteer or become a monthly sponsor, please visit us at www.the𝗵𝗆foundation.org. Again, that's www.𝗵𝗆foundation.org, because every life matters.
Lonestar Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lonestar Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
Welcome back, everybody, to Toast to the Town with Christy and Mel. We hope that you enjoyed your break.
Mel's like, I'm bringing my pleasant voice today. And I'm like,
Well-
yo, what's going on?
Well, there's a reason for that. I'm trying to be calm, reserved. We have the county judge with us, for gosh sake.
I know, but he gets me excited. Like,
I know,
go.
but I have to control myself.
Okay. All right.
There's a lot to be excited about.
There's a lot to
Montgomery
be
County.
excited about.
I mean, you wake up in the morning and you pinch yourself and you go, "Is this for real?" At a time when there are those that are just struggling so badly, So, with that in mind, I'm just happy to be here and I'm excited about the next 4 years. As you know, I won the election, my
Yes,
primary.
sir.
No one running against me in the fall, so I'll be sworn in on January 1 for my next 4-year term.
Bright and early.
That's right.
Bright and early.
Who in the world came up with swearing in
I don't know.
on January 1 in the
Terrible.
morning?
No,
Somebody
I
got
don't
mad at
know.
somebody and said, "We're not going to have that among our elected officials."
It must have been, because that is just, I tell you what, every January 1st, whenever it's, political season and people are getting sworn in, it's like, yep, just going to stay home on the couch
I
this
tell you,
year.
I'm honored to be able to have swear me in again. Barb Sadler, former county judge here, was here for 20 years. sitting in my chair.
Wow.
And he was number 39 of county judges. My predecessor was 40, and I'm 41 of the county judges in Montgomery County since 1837.
It's excellent.
Isn't that
That's
exciting?
awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So, and part of, I think, what also makes Montgomery County work so well is our great relationship with our state level elected officials as
yeah.
well. And there's so much going on, in national politics, state politics, but to see the excitement and the unifying attempts and efforts being made to bring people back together, it's nice to see that.
Of course.
We've gone through a lot of division in the last,
Well,
bit.
I have to tell you, I've worked with our guys. I've worked with Senator Crichton, who's not just a good friend, but an effective senator.
Yes.
Things that he has gotten done is incredible.
Yep.
And of course, Will Metcalf, who came up as a young pup, and all of a sudden, man, he's chairman of committees. And I have to tell you, I talk to his mom and dad every once in a while, and I remember being on the floor of the House of Representatives and calling Tommy, his dad, because none of this happens without parents.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And they just did such a good job with him. And so I called him and said, man, you're not going to believe what your kid just did on the House floor. And I would tell him all about
That's
it.
awesome.
It was cool. But Will has done an effective job. Cecil over in East County, or in West County, excuse me, in holding his ground on things and helping us. And Representative Toth in District 15, Steve is stable. He's there. And he's aggressive, and he wants to get things done, and he supports a conservative movement. And these are good guys that we have working with us. And we now got Paul Betancourt, who's come up into, as we've redistricted, who is Uncle Paul, as we call him, who is also very effective. And Colcorst, she is amazing.
Oh, love Lois. She's
Well,
awesome.
and
Lois is going to be great for us, which also gives us 3 senators.
right.
Out of 31, 3 senators. You got
That's very
10% of them represent Montgomery County.
It's pretty amazing.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
It is very
And the Woodlands Chamber of Commerce is having an event coming up next month that is a sideline chat with Senator Creighton and Senator Betancourt.
Yeah.
So for those of you that haven't, been able to be introduced, if you, were caught in redistricting and you don't know your state senator now, it's a great opportunity to come out and ask questions too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely. And meet them.
meet 'em.
They're both super nice guys.
Great guys, yeah. And and it's when you've got that kind of leadership, on all levels, city, county, state, we are booming here in Texas. It's no
Oh, yeah.
it's no guess why people want to move here.
That's right. These guys, as I sit there and I think about this, I think about, say, Brandon, or I think about Betancourt, or Lois, or any of our state reps. They are so clear. They are so clear in what they believe.
Right.
And I've seen them accomplish things in the Texas House and carried on through in the Senate that is nothing short of remarkable in getting things done that needed to be done. So proud for their legislation having to do with Second Amendment stuff and education and so many other
education,
things. It's
right.
So we're very excited about what the future holds.
Yeah.
Anytime I get a chance to go stump over there, since I was there for 2 sessions, I love to go over and see everybody, but then support. In the redistricting, I had a chance to go over and talk to the Senate over there because they were going to be dividing Magnolia in half. And we talked about the issues associated with that and communities of interest and whatnot. Sure. And I talked to Dan Patrick. Next thing I know, they didn't divide them in half. I thought that was awesome. I'd like to think I had something to do with that.
Right.
But, cooler heads prevailed, and Lieutenant Dan does a great job for us. Our Lieutenant Governor, he's awesome, man.
He is.
And so he really helped Montgomery County.
Well, so you've got 4 more years.
Yeah.
So what's on the horizon?
Same stuff I've been doing. I'm committed to continuing with our road projects that we have done. I'm continuing to keeping our taxes low and that are enticing, as we've done again this year, to those developers and people wanting to come here. I am most committed to creating a culture of deterrence as it relates to our law enforcement. Okay. And we want to keep Montgomery County drawing people that want to live here together, to pray together, to play together, and they are agreeable in what they believe. Everybody's not going to agree on all of our ideologies.
Of course.
But the fact of the matter is, for the most part, in toto, across the county, we have a set of beliefs that many counties don't hold. Those that do, kudos, they're all doing well. Those that don't, they're in constant turmoil. So this is cool.
So we can bet that if monkeypox gets declared another emergency, that we're not going to be masking up, right?
You can count on that.
It's interesting to me, one of the things that we've talked about multiple times is, how certain events get a little bit more news coverage whenever maybe national politics want to still steer the rhetoric towards, something else. No, don't pay attention to what my right hand's doing while my left hand
Sure.
is waving in your face. And the monkeypox situation kind of goes in the lines of, murder hornets and, some of the other things that
Exactly.
have popped up. And it's, with so much going on in the news, you see the war in the Ukraine has kind of taken a back seat lately, and some of these big things. It's nice to know that we can focus here locally and know that we've got the leadership to guide us through.
It's a difference in ideology. What do we believe about the size of government? What do we believe about the freedom of the people to have the freedom of choice? What do we believe about risk and reward? All of these things are what make either a lousy place to live or a great place to live. And we operate in a function of what I believe here in our county is a true republic. I'm always asking myself, I may get sideways with some political types or we disagree on the commissioner's court. The thing that constantly goes through my mind, who sent me here and why did they do it? And that's the people of the county. I've had people come to me over the years and say, we're not going to do this for you if you don't do this for us. Time out. Organizations, time out. That's not going to work. I'll take my chances with the people. And that has stood us in good stead. And I have to tell you, I believe that each of our commissioners on our commissioners' courts believe the same thing. We all know it's right. We're a republic, government by the people and for the people. They sent us here to do this. The guys in Austin, the people here sent them here to do that. And sometimes you just got to put your foot down and say, look, I know you may not support me in the future, but guess what? You didn't elect me. I'm here because the people sent
Right,
me here.
right.
And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And this is just another reason why we love you so much.
Well, bless you.
One of my friends commented on the show today saying Judge Keough is awesome. He's a true blessing to our county. And Charlotte Grayson, I could not agree with you more.
Thank you so much. I just give all the blessing and credit to God. I do.
Well,
He's so blessed us.
And thank goodness that he spoke to you in guiding us through the entire situation. It's and to see so many of our small businesses that were able to withstand the storm.
Oh, yeah.
Versus what's happened in other areas of the state.
And I have to tell you, all of our law enforcement, our Homeland Security, Emergency Management, my Chief of Staff, Jason Millsaps, has helped me with so much as relates to all this stuff and our vaccinations, and we've been able to do things that other counties weren't able to do and step out, especially for our size. And we in conjunction with St. Luke's and with Methodist to be able to administer vaccines. We put together an event down there, literally 12 lanes of people coming through, full-blown law enforcement, full-blown nursing and medical types to do it, and did over 350,000 vaccinations. Wow. I mean, it was remarkable, the organization and stuff that we did during that time. So, I'm kind of like the rudder on the ship, and it's, hang on. And there's a bunch of people out there that are really certainly contributing to make it all happen.
That's excellent.
So,
Well, we have an event that we're using today to announce, by the way, an event coming up on I think it's the 12th, Wednesday, the 12th of October. For you, it's down in the Woodlands. Anyway, we'll have more information out about that, but it's a Get Out the Vote event, and we are excited about that because,
yeah.
It's just too important to sit at home this year. If you're one of those that has trouble getting off the couch some days, we understand. However, this is
solutions
not
for
the
that.
year. We will not
There
understand
are
this year.
solutions for that.
There certainly are.
Since
There
we
certainly
here
are.
in the immediate, most of us don't have anybody on the other party running against us. It is easy to become complacent.
Yes.
It is. It is.
Governor Abbott, when I won my first election, it was in a primary, he came to me and he said, Mark, you won your primary, and I know you don't have anybody running against you in the fall. You need to run a campaign. We've got to get out the votes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been my mantra, whether I've had somebody running against me or not. I always put out, I don't spend a whole lot of money if nobody's running against me, but I will put out some signs and demonstrate that we're in the game, we're not going away. Because the first thing you know is you go a whole cycle, especially being a 4-year term. If I'm not going to show up and there's people here, how many people are moving in all the time?
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
It's just unbelievable
Yeah.
the amount of people moving to Montgomery County.
We're bound to
Mark who?
Yeah.
What does he believe? I just encourage the other elected officials to take the time at key intersections or whatever, put out some signs. Let the other side know we are not rolling over and playing dead, and that we must continue to have what we have, even when nobody's running against us.
Well, and I think too, with the air of politics in this country right now, encouraging people to keep their commitment to vote as their obligation, as their duty as American citizens, to stay involved and stay informed, and get out and vote for the leadership that you want speaking on behalf of you. And I think that that's so important.
Yeah. One of the concerns is that given the fraud issues and whatnot in the last election, that one of the concerns is that people would just get to the place and say, well, look, my vote doesn't matter, I'm not going to even bother.
Right.
Stop that. It absolutely does matter.
It
and
does matter.
We're always getting better. We just spent millions of dollars on virtually foolproof with a paper receipt.
Right.
That it can be audited in our new voting machines, even though the other ones worked great and we had no problems, to the best of our knowledge. And we have good people on the mail-in ballots that watch and see what's going on. But we're organized in our elections department, and the people involved in that. We're going to make sure that we've done the right thing, and so that people can come to vote in Montgomery County with confidence and know that their vote is going to count.
Well, and there are lots of people that can, I can name a few people, off the top of my head that will say every vote counts. Some that have lost by very minimal number of votes.
Oh, yeah.
Literally every single vote counts. So if you think your voice doesn't matter, it most certainly does.
And some of your local races that don't have quite the spread, say, of a whole county, just like in a city like this, one individual won by 54 votes.
Yeah.
54 votes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
We worked in one, and this was a county race, and it was a primary, but they had 3 guys running, so we ended up 2 of them in a runoff. But between the top one and the third place one, there was, I don't know, hundreds, literally.
I know.
And between the first and the second place was 40-something, and then even in the runoff, there was 148, was what 147.
that's
I think.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's close.
But people cared. They turned out
Yeah.
for the runoff, and that's kind of encouraging, because that's a county, Jefferson County is a place where the Republican Party has not done well for years, and they are
To which I
growing.
would say, good job, girl.
Well, yeah, okay. We can't take credit for that, although we will, but we can't. But it is encouraging to see that it's not so much about the Republican Party over there.
Yeah.
It's about doing the right thing. It's on the grow. It's on the grow. And I went to a meeting a couple of weeks ago. 5 businessmen and a candidate, and ostensibly I was going to hold somebody's hand because they were fundraising, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, and it turned into something completely different. These guys were like, we have stood on the street corner talking and complaining for 15 years, and we decided no more. We're putting our money behind, and it wasn't just behind this candidate. It was behind everybody who was doing what they thought was the right thing to do, and it had to do with God and family and country.
That's awesome.
Anyway, it was a nice switch.
Well, when I ran for office, I'd be quite honest with you, when I first ran, I just got tired of throwing my shoe at the TV. No, I'm serious. I was so frustrated every night. I'd watch the news. I see you can complain all you want. What are you going to do about it? Mm-hmm. That's when Kim and I got together and we decided that we were going to do it. And we took the oath, and we've never looked back. So
I know, and what an amazing advocate and
Oh, my
supporter
gosh.
and
That's
number
what I was
one
gonna say.
fan is your beautiful wife, Kim.
oh, Kim, she's amazing.
She is amazing
is.
and hardest working campaign worker ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
She's a sweetheart. She's my best friend.
Yeah. And, with all the storms that being in the political spotlight brings, having that support system is,
Yeah, it's awesome. Another element that we don't talk much about is our fire marshal and what's going on, burn
Yes.
bans and all
Yes.
that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
And
with
the
all
fact of
these
the matter
wildfires.
is some of these places just don't have the people, the equipment, and the people to be able to deal with it. The fact of the matter is, we do. We were the last ones to come out with a burn ban. We could have come out with it sooner, but we didn't. And the reason we didn't was because we knew that in the event that there was going to have something take place, that we would be there to be able to do it. And that's what they did again and again and again. So, they have done a great job for us. This whole drought situation is driving everybody crazy. Thank God we're not in 2011. And when the water up on Lake Conroe on my dock that I can stand in now is up mid-chest, about up here top of the high of my chest, and it was 65 feet off the end of my dock, dry.
I remember.
It was remarkable.
Remember well.
was.
So, we've really, the Lord has watched over us and continues to. And you talk about sandstorms and whatnot, the silver lining to every cloud. As long as that sandstorm there, thank God we're not going to see a bunch of hurricanes.
Absolutely, yes. And,
So.
and speaking of, what you were talking about with our firefighters, we've seen so many different departments all over the county lend firefighters to go help with some of these
Oh,
situations
yes,
in other
yes.
parts of the state.
Our hospital districts and our guys that work with all of our ambulances and whatnot, these are incredible people. And what they get done, how quickly they get done, how efficiently they get it done, they all work together in all these circumstances, and they're ready to go anytime. I know this. My chief, who's our Homeland Security Director, he's out the other day in a hazmat suit out on 1314 in an acid spill.
Yeah.
Jason, what are you doing out there? Well, I had to be out there. That was closest to it. And we got another guy. They went out. Then others came. It was remarkable. They're on their game.
Yeah.
So
Well, and
Yeah.
and I remember, what was it, a few weeks ago, whenever they found a mysterious unclaimed briefcase in one of our government buildings, and they responded to it with abundant caution to protect the people and protect the workers inside that building, but showed up and it ended up not being a big deal. But to be able to show up and react and respond with that kind of urgency and put everybody's mind at rest.
as soon
is
as you
great.
become complacent, it happens. And we cannot let that happen.
Right.
It's my commitment that we never become complacent. We're going to make mistakes. Hopefully not too many. And we don't ever want the mistake to be that we weren't paying attention or that we didn't show up in time.
Yes.
Because we will do those things. So
Well, I know with all the excitement that's going on and the growth of Montgomery County and everything else, one thing that I can also add to it is, who's excited about football season?
We know you are.
Can we tell that kickoff is coming up soon? But with all of our great schools that we have in Montgomery County, and they're gearing up, and and the security that's going to involve, making sure that the public is safe and the kids are safe, and but with all of our wonderful law enforcement agencies working together, we're going to be all right.
and another element to that whole deal is you do right things and right things will happen. In a recent event that I was at, I had a chance to talk about Montgomery County, and I told them about a county that has over 400 places of worship where they honor God. You don't think God's paying attention to that? You fight, you work very hard, you show up, you become excellent at your skill, you become a master at what you do. At the end of the day, you must keep in tune with God to watch over us and protect us. And I believe, the deepest part of my heart, that He's doing that with Montgomery County. And we want that to stay there too. We
Yes.
don't ever want to discount that the Lord is watching. So,
Well, I think
about that?
I think
amazing.
that's amazing, and I think Montgomery County is different in that respect, in that regard. You don't hear the talk is not the same, the chatting is not the same. When people talk in Montgomery County, when they're on Facebook, when they're just chatting among themselves, it's always, I love you, God bless you. You know, it's different than it is in other places. It's just different. It's not bad other places. It's just different.
a culture.
It is, and I think, but I'm from Montgomery County, so it's kind of always been this way. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, so there, that was my input.
Yes.
Well, cool. What else?
You know, it's a beautiful day here to live, play, work, pray, everything here in Montgomery County. What else is going on with you?
Well, you know, I just keep doing what we're doing. The family's doing great.
Good.
My son's fixing to get
I
married in
saw that,
September.
yes.
September?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
September 18th. And so that's all very exciting. And he's doing well. And is a very lovely young lady. And they're a perfect match. And I couldn't be happier.
That's wonderful.
And my 3 daughters and their husbands and our grandkids. What a blessing.
So are
It's
you
just been so
officiating
good.
the wedding?
No. I'm going to
You
be
get to
there.
you get to go and enjoy.
I'm going to go
and take the
enjoy.
day off.
I'm taking part in the financial aspects of it, which is fun. And Kim and I are, but we're just so proud of them and what they're doing, and what the future holds for them. Mm-hmm. Very active in their community, very active in their churches, and high excellence in their professions. I'm so proud of them.
Well, they have 2 wonderful role models for
Well,
sure.
Thank you.
And no doubt they're going to continue to do great things.
Indeed.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
You betcha.
You know, we always love it when you come by and give us an update of what's going on. And, you know, when you've got a county judge that's willing to, you know, invest in a billboard to deter criminals from crossing a border and reminding them of just how tough we are on crime here in Montgomery County, it says that you're always willing to go the extra mile.
And just so you know, that is not sponsored by the county.
No.
I mean, that's my wife and I through our campaign are paying for that
Yes.
billboard. And but that's our commitment.
That's your personal investment in
That's
this
right.
county
That's
and the
right.
safety and the
So
growth of this
it's-
county.
It's important. So it's our
Yes.
future.
That's exciting. I mean, I
Yes.
really think it is.
I think it's fun. And it makes me laugh every time I see it whenever I'm coming this way. It just this private little chuckle, like, you know. And it makes me wonder how many people are taking that next exit to U-turn. But
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
yes.
I wish there was there probably is a camera there. We should get Jason Millsaps on that. He's not busy.
yeah, right? He doesn't have
He's
anything
not
going
doing
on.
anything.
Yeah, no, he's
just
not
hanging
doing
around.
Exactly.
Well, Judge Keough, thanks again for joining us.
Thank
Guys, I appreciate
Look
y'all so
forward to
much.
having you on again soon. And once again, thank you for allowing us. We're fixing to roll right into festival season. And again, we couldn't have done that without you once
Well,
again.
bless you. Thank you.
And so we're excited to have you here, always are, and we hope you come back
I'll
for
be
the
back.
year out and let us know what's going on. We've got shows coming up.
We've got 'em lined up.
so many events coming up, all kinds of great fun.
We have another elected official in a couple of weeks. Next week we've got a woman in business, and we're just knocking them down.
Yes, yeah. So if you want to
Start
come
with
on,
the
and
best.
if you want to come and talk with us on Toast the Town with Christy and Mel, you can shoot us a message on our 𝗫𝗫 Innovative Facebook page. Don't forget, you can also watch and listen to this on our YouTube channel because we're fancy like that. You know, Dick takes care of us,
Dick
make
takes
sure
care
we're
of
all
us.
over the
That's what I was
place.
gonna say.
But you can always tune in to us live every Wednesday during Hump Hour of Hump Day, at every Wednesday at 12 noon, right here on Lone Star Community Radio and 106.1 and 104.5 on the FM dial if you're here in the Conroe area.
Absolutely.
Can't believe I remembered all that.
I know. I can't either.
It's
I'm
amazing.
very wonderful.
Anyway, y'all
Thank
make
you,
it a
guys.
great week. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week.